سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح وبث الدعاء الخفي الصريح.
There is a couple of episodes, okay? One which is mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, and in fact I just taught this the other day in Riyadh al-Salihin, and a lady from Asma rather, she says that Qadimat Ummi, my mother came and she was a mushrika. Okay, so let's keep this ayat in mind. Okay, this ayat which is used, taken out of context, the Mujadila, which was the one which is used, Man hada Allah wa Rasulahu walau kanu aba'ahum aw abna'ahum aw ikhwanahum aw ashiratum, that they don't care. They will show enemy and hatred towards their fathers, their sons, their brothers, or their family members. This, as we know, is talking about at the time of war. So if a person is a Christian, he has a Christian father, and he's living in a different state, and he is a Muslim living in a different state, and these states are at war with one another, and they're fighting, and it's a religious war, then this person should not care that this is his father. That's what this is referring to. Here's an example in Sahih al-Bukhari, that Asma says that Qadimat Ummi, my mother came to visit me, wahiya mushrika, and she was a polytheist in the time of Quraysh. Okay, and the Prophet ﷺ had made an agreement at the time of Hudaybiyah with the Prophet ﷺ. So I went to ask the Prophet ﷺ for regarding the mas'ala. What did he say? So I said to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam that inna ummi qadimat wa hiya raghiba afa, should I keep my blood ties with her? Did the Prophet know about this verse? Should I keep my blood ties with her? Of course he knew about this verse. Well, how does the Prophet respond? He says, Naam, sili ummaki, keep your blood ties with your mother. Remember, she's a mushrika. So why is it the Prophet saying something different? This clearly here, okay? Naam, that you keep your tie with her. Quite clear, no argument whatsoever. So this needs to be understood, that this is how the religion is understood. And some have argued that this is abrogated. It is not abrogated. وَقَالَ أَكْثَرُ أَهْلِ التَّأْوِيلِ هِيَ مُحْكَمَةٌ. This is actually muhka, so it cannot be abrogated. It is accepted, and you'll find this in tafsir of Qurtubi, or by Imam Qurtubi obviously. Otherwise it would be called tafsir something else if it was by somebody else. And there are many other examples, okay, many other examples which I can share, and there's a number of verses which I have got here which, to be honest, I've not even looked at, so my apologies, which I could share with you as well, but you can see I'm now blibbering. I've been talking non-stop for nearly 2.5 hours, and even for someone in my capacity, talking for that length of time becomes difficult. And as I said, there's many others that I could sort of share with you, a number of examples that I've got written here, but I'm not going to, because I think I've made my point. I hope I've made my point, and if I haven't made my point, then either I'm not very good at making my point, or somebody is sort of coming to these videos or to this series with preconceived ideas, and then arguably I guess I would not be able to change their thinking irrespective. And you know, there's even praise within the ayat within the Quran about the Ahli Kitab. وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى. Indeed, you will find the closest in love, mawadda, to those people who believe are those who say that we are Christians. That is because amongst them there's قِسِّسِينَ وَرُهْبَانًا وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. So again, we're not going to generalize. We've got this habit of just generalizing things. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not generalizing. So he speaks about a specific group of people in a harsh way because they're waging war against Muslims because of their religion. He speaks against another group of people who are from the same general religion in a good way because they're behaving with the Muslims in a positive, in a decent way. لَيْسُوا سَوَاءٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ كِتَابِ أُمَّةٌ قَائِمَةٌ. There you go. All the people of the Kitab are not one. Okay, there is one ummah, one sect within them who recite the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during the hours of the night, and they prostrate to him. Al Imran, ayat 113. The first one is Surah Ma'idah, ayat number 82. وَمِنْ أَهْلِ كِتَابِ مَنْ إِنْ تَأْمَنْهُ بِقِنْطَارٍ يُؤَدِّهِ إِلَيْكَ. Surah Al Imran again 75. That they are from the people of the book, that if you were to give them amanat of some gold or something like that, they will keep it for you and they will return it back to you. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praising the Ahli Kitab. Okay, praising them. We know already. I've not even touched, really, to be honest, conscious of time. I've not even touched upon the discussions with respect to King Negus and Najashi, how he took the Muslim. And again, I just point you towards my series on Siratul Khatim Nabiyyin for that one. How he looked after the Muslims. Did the Prophet ﷺ not know about al-Walā wal-Barā, that why am I sending my people to a Christian when I'm supposed to have enmity for him and hatred for him? And this is part of my iman. It's not making sense, and I hope that's the correct understanding, which was the aim. And I mentioned that Allahumma jammilhu. This is the dua that the Prophet ﷺ made for this individual. Okay, did not the Prophet ﷺ make dua for Quraysh when he said, Allahumma ghfir li qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun? Oh Allah, forgive my people because they don't know. And there are other examples as well at the time when drought took place in Quraysh, and how they came to him and they used their ties of kinship and enjoined upon the Prophet to make dua, and he made dua for them. So, just to sort of summarize, and I'm not going to summarize everything and make your job easy for you. If I've spent, mashallah, close to 3 hours speaking and numerous hours putting this together, then I would appreciate if one or two people watch this as well. We've seen an interpretation in the last 100 or so years which pits a very extremist understanding, which pits the Muslim community against the world. But what it's done is, instead of taking a political understanding, it's made that political understanding actually part of belief. And what is done is suggested that if a person does not have this idea, this type of understanding of al-Walā wal-Barā, then that person ceases to be a Muslim. This is very serious. This is takfir on a mass scale, never heard of before. And this kind of level of takfir is very, very serious, to consider all these people as non-Muslims. Very frightening. And we've seen the example of it by the request from the brother to actually tackle this, and I hope I've done justice to that, about children now considering their parents to be kafir, considering all Muslims to be kafir. Any Muslim deciding to live in a non-Muslim country is a kafir. Any Muslim who cares to be kind to his non-Muslim neighbors is a kafir. This has become so contrary to the Sunnah, absolutely opposite to the Sunnah. And then these people are socially incapable of living a normal life, as we saw with the example the brother gave. And so what are they left with? Well, what they're left with is hate. And this hate inside, because it's not right, and Islam has not permitted this, it's not facilitated this. So this hate, it can't be contained, because hate is such a strong emotion, it boils over. So what these poor people do, and they are poor people because they've misunderstood the deen, and they actually think that then they've got Jannah waiting for them, and they've got this and that waiting for them. And what they do then is they go and then carry out these acts of terror and these killings, targeting innocent people and killing people, babies, women, men, in places which you would consider to be safe. Walking to school, roads, normal places, where it's become, an average person is really thinking twice about walking out on the street. There's been a backlash now from the non-Muslim community, so that's now targeted the poor Muslim community twice now, so they've become victims twice. One is somebody's hijacked their religion and said that and said to them that they're not Muslim, and now another group are saying that, oh, you're the cause of this. So the poor Muslim community in the West just can't win. Those who buy into this ideology are calling them non-Muslim, so they're being sold out from there. So their own brethren of faith are telling them you're no longer part of the faith, and their own brethren of community in their local cities and countries are saying you're no longer a British citizen. So I talk about an identity crisis. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them strength and tawfiq. Ameen. So that's what this hate ideology which leads to killing. What I've shared with you over these probably just over 2.5 hours, or coming to 2.5 hours, what I've shared with you is the correct understanding. As you saw with the takfiri understanding, it's a very exclusive group. It's linked a political view to declare who's a Muslim. It's then passed fatwa of takfir on people who don't buy into this. So it's taken millions, if not billions of people out of the fold of Islam. It's a definition which we didn't find that the Prophet ﷺ was using. The Prophet ﷺ was very inclusive. He included everybody. They associate the act directly to the person. The Prophet ﷺ associated the act separately and did not associate to the person. He said the act is what we have an issue with. That's where our hate is towards the act. We despise the act. We're not happy with this act. But the person himself, there's no effect upon this person whatsoever. We've saw verses where people should show hatred towards even their own brothers and kith and kin, and they're being used as general verses when that's not the case. There's a specific context to them. We saw the example of Abdullah ibn Abbas was saying that the Khawarij were very much the same, that those verses which were revealed and were specific to the Ahli Kitab, they were taking them and applying them to the Muslims, which was incorrect, and then using them as a means to justify killing them and justify taking their wealth. So we're seeing that. I hope that I've been able to explain that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me for my shortcomings. Ameen. And the many mistakes, I'm sure, because it's not a clever idea to sit for 3 hours and go through everything in 3 hours time, but my schedule is absolutely ridiculous, and if I didn't do it like this, it would not have got done for several more months, if not at least a year or two. And it's only because of this request that this brother put to me, which is a 10-15 page request, that I felt obliged to at least give whatever I could give in the short time frame that I can give. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us upon the true understanding of Islam. May He save us from extremism in both its guises, laziness and carefree attitude towards our religion, and a careless attitude towards our beliefs and practices, but also protect us from this dangerous, perverted, extremist view of now ideology, of a belief system, which I know I was speaking to a colleague just yesterday, and he mentioned that this type of understanding is now widespread amongst prisons as well, where people who are recently converting towards Islam, because they're coming from a kind of a hate lifestyle. They want to hate on the world. They want to blame somebody for why they've ended up where they've ended up, and they're kind of naturally inclined towards it. Then they're accepting this kind of hate-filled, aggressive, us against the world, victim mentality type of mindset, and then they're buying into this and having a very strange understanding of the Deen. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the correct understanding of Deen. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
بث الدعاء الخفي الصريح يسعك الفضاء الرحيم